mothered, all of you who are mothering, all of you. And that doesn't mean that you have to have actually a natural child, right? So many people are out there mothering, particularly now, they're mothering people that were strangers before. So this should be a national holiday, Mother's Day, because it recognizes, I believe, the most important job in the world. The toughest job in the world, often the most invisible job in the world, the most emotionally taxing job in the world, the most physically demanding job in the world. Let's just face it, the most demanding job in the world. They used to say that the Peace Corps was the toughest job you'll ever love, but I think that applies to motherhood as well. It is the toughest job you will ever love. Nothing else even comes close to its importance. And I was really blessed by an extraordinary mother, an extraordinary grandmother, but I have been mothered along the way by other people, other women. Some men have even nurtured and loved me along the way. And so I want to say today, thank you to everybody who embarks on the motherhood quest, the motherhood journey. I want to thank everybody who has taken that job seriously, who's fallen down in that job and gotten back up in that job, and who values that job. I hope if you are celebrating Mother's Day today, I hope you are able to rest. I hope you are able to be celebrated. If you have a rough relationship with your mom, I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of people who have that. I'll pray for you actually today. I know that's hard. If your mom's no longer with you, I know that's also hard. I got up this morning and said a little prayer to my own mom up in heaven. So today is a day that's super joy-filled for me, but I also miss my mom. So I know there's a lot of people out there like that. In fact, Claire Bidwell-Smith writes about that this morning in the Sunday paper, how to honor and remember your mom even if she's not there. So today is a special day. I hope you treat it as such. Actually, we should all treat every day as a special day. How lucky are we that we're able to get up and put our feet on the ground and come together like this, even though we're staying at home. We're lucky we're not in a hospital. We're lucky that our feet are working, that our minds are working, and that we're able to be in community. So happy, happy Mother's Day. And I wanted to get on here a few minutes early to just say all of that, to wish all of you a happy Mother's Day, to remind you to make it special, to remind you today to take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Don't concentrate on things you've done wrong. Concentrate on all that you have done right, on all that you have done right, because there's so much more that you have done right. And just getting up and being who you are, it's enough. And that's really, I was trying to think what I want my kids to know. And I want them to know that they're loved, not for something they're gonna go do, not for something they need to do, but just for who they are. They can sit on the couch, they can sit next to me, they are loved. That's what I wanna make sure that they know, that they are loved, they don't have to earn that love, it just comes. So I see a lot of Mother's Day wishes here. Happy Mother's Day, Maria from Sweden. Wow, that's so great. Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day, CJ Bixby. Happy Mother's Day to you if you're celebrating that. These names go by so fast. By Grace 112. Bianca Maria 4. JK Pustover. Oh my goodness. So anyway, we're going to talk to Sue Monk Kidd today, who is a hero of mine. She's an extraordinary writer. I don't even want to say author because she is that. She wrote The Secret Life of Bees, but she is a writer from the depths of her heart. And her new book, The Book of Longings, is out. She's on a virtual book tour. She wrote in the Sunday paper today, and she's joining us today on Sunday Paper Live to talk about her extraordinary new book. It's called The Book of Longings, and it's about Anna, the fictional wife of Jesus. And there she is. And really quickly. So There.
Hi. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Sue. How happy Mother's Day to you.
Oh, and happy Mother's Day to you and to everyone who mothers out there, no
Amen.
matter what they mother.
Exactly. That's right. That's really good because I have some friends who mother dogs and they foster mother. And so there are so many kinds of mothers. So thank you for saying that. And happy Mother's Day to you. And wow, 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 your book, Sue, the Book of Longings. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Maria. That's very gracious.
Oh, well, it's not, it's just truth. And I was just saying before you got on, you published this book. It came out during this pandemic. So you've been on this virtual book tour. And I know it's hard to get a book out during this time, but this book has really been, I had a friend who wrote to me the day before yesterday and said, you've got to read this new book. It's the best book I've ever read. It's the Book of Longings by Sue. I said, that's so funny. She's on the Sunday Paper Live on Sunday. So congratulations. Let me begin, Sue. When I got this book, before I even opened it, I just held it and I thought about that word longings, the Book of Longings. We all have longing inside of us. Why did you want to write a book about that and give birth to Anna, who is the kind of main character in this book?
Well, Anna is someone full of longings, and I think she is very like many women today. You know, you're right. We all have these longings inside, and I wanted this character to tap those longings because I believe that our longings are the language of our soul in the best sense of it. If we want to know what our soul is trying to say to us, one way is to listen to our longings. And that is certainly true of my character.
And you actually, this character almost begged you to write her.
Yes.
That she
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, which I found so that you listened to your longing, and in your longing came Anna.
That's right. I longed to write this book, this story. And Anna came to me in my imagination one day, 5 years ago at least. And she was irresistible to me. And I mean, she wandered in, and that was it. I was a goner for telling this story, and my imagination took off with her. And, you know, I just never looked back after that. But yeah, she was kind of meant to be for me, I think.
I love that because I read in an interview you gave that you thought about her for several years and then she just kept coming back, that you could no longer resist her. And that you actually went on and you researched this time. We should say this is a fictional book. Anna is the fictional wife of Jesus. But she is somebody that you researched everything about the era that she would have lived in. And you wanted to give voice to women at that time who you felt were probably the most silenced of any era.
Yes, that is really what drove me. You know, I have a long history of wanting to write stories about women, particularly those who are marginalized or silenced or left behind or made invisible. And lo and behold, Anna has the same longing. I mean, she wants to write the stories of lost women. And she's very scholastic minded. She's bright. She's Jesus. She needed to have her magnitude. She needed to be a real partner to him so that they could relate on a wonderful way and learn from each other.
What does that mean? What I love that she needed her own magnitude.
Yes.
What explain that? I love that idea because so many people, women and men, but so many women also, if they're in relationship with someone who is also formidable, having their own magnitude is a challenge, right?
Well, it is to bring it forth, perhaps, but I tend to believe that every person has some kind of what I have been calling a particular genius. To demystify that word a little bit, it's just that thing, that largeness that we have in ourselves that is probably there for the benefit, not just of ourselves, but for the world around us.
Yeah.
So Anna has what she calls her largeness. And that seems to have touched a chord with a lot of readers, because I'm getting tons of responses about wanting to have their largeness blessed. And Anna had an Aunt Yaltha, who blessed her largeness. And that is something we kind of all need. That helps bring it forth too. But I mean, imagine if women and men everywhere could find their largeness, tap it, bring it forth, and bless one another. Imagine how the world would change. So I
I
just
love
love that idea.
I love that. I think that's really the role of mothers too, right? Is to bless the largeness of the people that we are raising. Several people on here said, how do I find my magnitude? How do I find someone to bless my largest? How do I even know what my largeness is? And so maybe there's a lesson from Anna that you could impart to these people who are watching.
Well, Anna's aunt, again, who is kind of her spiritual midwife, her lifeline, says to her, if you want to know what's inside, ask yourself what lies at the bottom of my heart. And there's always a longing in there. I would say, listen to your longings and they will teach you everything. And ask yourself, how many times have we really asked ourselves what lies at the bottom of our heart? And I was in a little convent in Crete one time, many years ago. And the nuns told us to go up to this icon of the Virgin Mary and to ask her for what lies at the bottom of our hearts. So, I'm with a little group and we all decide, okay, we'll do that. And indeed, what I asked myself, not knowing what would come up, but what came up was, I want to be a novelist. And that was the longing inside of me. And I articulated it and I found it. And then I tried to find people who would bless it. So there's a lot of listening to yourself that has to go on, and a lot of asking the question.
That's so beautiful. What lies at the bottom. And that's something, and then speaking it, as Sue just said, I want to be a novelist. People are afraid to speak what is their blessing, and afraid to speak their largeness. I read in an interview, Sue, where you said that you told your husband you wanted to write a fictional account of Jesus's wife. And he was like, are you sure? I mean, that is like the most complicated space to walk into.
Yeah.
It's such sacred territory for so many people. We should mention this is fiction. But did you have a lot of fear in birthing this book?
I had a little anxiety about it, yes. I mean, I'm not crazy. I do know that, there could be some controversy about that. Actually, what my husband said was, I said, I'm going to write a novel in which Jesus gets married. And he said, oh, great, what could possibly go wrong? But, interestingly enough, so far, nothing's really gone that wrong. I haven't heard too much controversy. What I've heard is an outpouring from women. One comment today to me that touched me very deeply was, this book is a love letter from God to women. And I thought, wow, I don't know if I would go that far, but I do believe that women are hungry to see the feminine, the lost feminine back in religion, and to have a reimagining of that, because it brings us value and balance.
Absolutely. It's so true. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and always felt like I have four brothers, and they were the ones who got to be the altar boys. They were the ones who got to go and work with the priests. They were the ones. And I think it sticks with you, right? Where is my place in religion? Where is my place? How do I give voice to what I feel about religion? How do I give voice to my church? All of these things are so kind of silenced in women for generations.
Absolutely. And I think it's a great concern, because in religion, still is what we could call a holy misogyny, in the sense that it's interpreted that women don't have a place at the center. on the
Yeah.
peripheries, or they don't have a voice in this, or they can't have leadership roles or whatever.
Yeah.
And we all grow up with that, and it affects us in very deep ways. And, you know, I wrote that the two memoirs, one with my daughter, Anka Taylor, in which we went searching for feminine divine icons. And I have one behind me. That's my Black Madonna. So
Oh, wow.
it's appropriate to, I don't know if it shows up very well, but I mean, she is a mother, and she does preside in my study when I write, and I think of her as a muse. But we went in search of divine feminine iconography, and we need divine feminine language. I mean, we have a long way to go. And my book, the Book of Longings, does address this. My character, Anna, wonders about all of this.
Yeah, and I love that she wonders about it, and she has a longing to be set free, which is, I think, something that we can all identify with, whether you're in relationship with somebody like Jesus or not in relationship at all, is this longing to, as you said, bless your largeness, set yourself free, identify your gifts. You said in the Sunday paper today that you hoped, which I loved this, you talked about Emerson, you said that you talked about the common heart. And you said Emerson suggested that it's a place inside where we can share intrinsic unity with all humanity. I can think of nothing I'd like more than for the Book of Longings to be a portal into the common heart. For those who don't know the common heart, when you say you want, that's your goal for this book, the Book of Longings, is to be a porthole into the common heart. What does that mean exactly, Sue?
Well, this concept of the common heart is one of the most beautiful to me, because as a writer, well, as a human being, I really believe in that place, that there is inside every person where we share, where we're more alike than we are different, where we share a single humanity. And that is a place that we need to go now, because
Yeah.
it's a unifying place. And I think literature, stories, I hope the Book of Longing takes us to places like that, because it's an empathetic experience. And that's the real value of reading, in my mind, is because we can have this amazing experience. It's a very mysterious experience where we can participate in another person's life so intimately, and we can see the world how they see it, and feel their sufferings and their longings and their joys. That is an amazing experience, and it's saving. And I think it is what takes us into this commonality, this place where we can come together.
So beautifully said. So when you hold this book, because it's a big book, when you hold it, the first time you held it, what did you feel?
Well, I felt like this might possibly be the reason I was born. Now, I know that sounds kind of
Yep, that's
like
beautiful.
wild, but I do think authors sometimes feel that. It's like, I came here to voice this, to bring this forth, and to mother this. And I did feel that. It was like, oh, there you are, little one. I was supposed to bring you forth. But, if I could bring that down a notch, it's
Don't bring it down.
probably, I know it's kind of wild to say that, but, it is in some ways an integration of all my work, I think. And
Yeah.
that is unusual. I can see The Secret Life of Bees in this book. I can see the mermaid chair. I can see the invention of wings, that deep journey for a voice in the world. And I can certainly see the Dance of the Dissident Daughter, which is my memoir about a collision that I had between feminism and my faith tradition. So
Wow.
it's all in there,
And it's all in here. I want to thank you so much. It's such a beautiful way to leave it. The book is the Book of Longing, Sue Monk Kidd. I love that when you held that book, that you maybe took a breath and said, that's why I'm here. And the culmination, that's the kind of, wow, talk about blessing your largeness, right? I mean, that is a moment I think that everybody longs for, a moment to realize, wow, that's why I was born. That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you. Definitely well worth. Thank you, Sue. Okay. I'm going to remove Sue. And I hope we're okay. I know that froze a little bit here and there, but it was definitely worth it. Wow. The book is really extraordinary and so beautifully done. And wow, to hear somebody like that talk about the culmination of writing something like that, giving voice to her own longing to be a novelist, and then finding people that would bless that goal is really quite extraordinary. So I hope that if you have longing, I hope you sit quietly and go to the bottom of your own heart and try to have that conversation with yourself. What's down there? What's in there? And what can I bring forth? Why am I here? I think it's really quite an extraordinary gift. So now we're going to talk to another extraordinary mom, a chef, a women's empowerment woman. Camilla Alves Makani is joining us this morning with her mother-in-law, Kay Makani, and I wanted to have them come on because they've been doing some great Instagrams, and she's a great woman. She's a great chef, a mom, and I love what she's been doing with her mother-in-law. So I'm going to see, she's going to join us from the kitchen today, I hope. And there she is. And she's got a great recipe in the Sunday paper today for halibut. I don't want to eat halibut right now. I ate it last night, but she's in, there they are.
There we are. Hey, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you both.
Yep.
I'm so glad to see you. I'm so grateful that you joined us on Mother's Day. And I just want to say, I love what you have been putting out into the world, the two of you together.
Yeah, we're good together.
Camilla, what's your best advice for how to get along so well with your mother-in-law?
Well, don't give her advice. That's the best advice. Don't give her advice unless she asks for it.
Okay,
Except when I'm cooking, she comes around quite a lot and asks and gives her opinion, even though she doesn't cook.
Oh,
But she
not anymore.
loves to come around and be very noisy in there, going, this one or that. I have to try this.
So Camilla,
Just little suggestions.
you cook a lot. How did you get the idea to include your mother-in-law in all of this?
Well, Maria, like we've been here quarantining together this whole time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like relating to your first question, me and Mom have come from very different backgrounds and very different cultures.
Yeah.
I'm from Brazil. I mean, you can see the difference right here within
And the looks, yeah.
And we have been able to, in the beginning we had a little bit of a not rocky, but she would test me a lot on things, and now we kind of learn into really like embrace our differences and love each other in that way, and it's what makes the magic.
Yes.
So when it comes to being quarantined together, and we've been doing a lot of cooking.
Yes, Camilla has been doing a lot of cooking. Yes, and not only that, but her 3 kids this morning made breakfast for us. How about that?
That's
omelets and avocado toast and a special juice. I mean, they're very creative. Her 3 kids are. How about that?
That is incredible. So, Kate, tell me, what's it been like for you to be with your daughter-in-law, to be in her Instagram videos, to be quarantined?
Oh, I'm enjoying every minute of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love the spotlight. Trust me, girl. I'm not the least bit bashful.
So you're going to cook something together for us here. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So I wanted to cook for you guys this recipe, which a lot of people at home have been doing and sharing during this quarantine, because it's easy. You don't have to cook. It uses ingredients that are very hearty and lasts you a long time in the refrigerator. So when you go to the store, you can get it and you can wait, you know, a week to make it. And then once you make it, it can stay in the refrigerator for days. And it's healthy, it's good for you, but very, very tasty.
Yes.
And when we do it, we eat like days, right, Mama?
Yeah, we eat off of it for days. And when it's gone, we're like, what happened to it? We want more. So yes, it's very, very popular in this family.
Yeah, so it is a no mayo coleslaw. Okay?
No mayo coleslaw. Okay, great. I think I can make this. Go ahead.
Yes, it's simple ingredients. You're gonna need a cabbage, like a green cabbage, an apple, lemon, red onions, some mint, and then just olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and if you have white wine vinegar, I like to add it to add a little extra kick to it. The steps are super simple too. So if you have one of these guys, you can use it. Be careful not to cut your fingers. I got some messages of people at home cutting their fingers with this. That's not okay. If not, it's just a knife, and you want to shred your cabbage really thin. That's the main thing. Can you see it from there, or do I need to?
I can see it. Yeah, I can see. I can see Kay watching you.
Yes, I am. Yes, yes.
So, Kay, are you learning how to cook from her?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you learning how to cook from her?
I don't want to learn how to cook.
You don't want to.
No, I've already done all my cooking, Maria, and for my boys, you know, and when they all left, then my late husband started doing the cooking. But no, I don't really like to cook. You know what I mean? It's not one of my like hers, you know. I have other things I like. So I'm not a good one to ask. So I'm learning from her just because I'm standing here, but I don't want to do anything. Okay?
I like to give her opinions, Maria.
Yes.
That's what she likes to do.
Well,
I love that.
You get 88, you think you have an opinion for everything.
Yeah, I love that though, Kay, because I love the way Camilla teaches people. I follow her on Instagram, how she cooks, and it's very calm and simple. And I love your involvement, actually, because I think on mother-in-law job is kind of tricky, right?
Oh, it is.
There's so many jokes
they get
about
a
it.
bad name, Maria. Mother-in-law is a bad name.
It's a bad,
right?
Yeah. And we have to reinvent kind of how it looks.
Yes. The
so how would you reinvent it?
Well, by like I told you, by not getting into her business, she and Mackie's business, unless they ask me. And sometimes I will say, so do you want to share that with me? And they'll go, sure. Or they'll go, no, just because I see them talking a lot together. And if I'm around them, I may say, so what were you guys talking about? And they will share it with me, you know? Or other times they'll know it's private and it doesn't hurt my feelings. So, hey, you got to know your place as a mother-in-law, okay?
But that is a good thing about having mother-in-law. If you are quarantining with your mother-in-law or with your mother, because mothers do that too.
Yeah.
Understanding the balance between, hey, you know, what can I step in and be part of it?
Yeah.
What is about me respecting my child or, you know, my daughter-in-law's position of this is their home, right? They have their own style of doing things.
I think that keep going there. I'm kind of watching you, Camilla.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically what I did, I just really, I used the mandolin, but if you have a knife, just really thin slice the cabbage, the onions, the apples. And then
where do you get one of those slicers you have?
I ordered this online.
Okay. You hear that, Maria? Where'd you get one of those?
Yeah, I'm kind of like UK.
Okay.
And then you're gonna add lemon.
Lemon.
You're gonna add a lemon to it. And a little bit of the apple cider vinegar.
Okay, look at that. There we go. I'm right with you, Kay.
Okay.
Here, Mama, you do the olive oil. How about that?
Yeah, how much?
Just drizzle over.
Like that. All right.
That's
enough.
That's it.
Okay, there you go. That's the kind of help I like to be.
You mix it all together. You add salt and pepper.
And there's nothing like using your hands, right? like a
Right.
meatloaf.
I was just going to say, Camilla, you just put this all together with your
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
to mix it all up.
That's it. You know, I know this is going to sound weird, but you know, a lot of cooking is putting, well, this is not weird about putting love into what you cook, but your energy, right? Your energy goes into it, and putting your hands, it's how you transfer your energy and your love into it. And if you're cooking for your family and your hands are clean, it's nothing wrong with using your hands.
I want to say, Camilla, I love the way I was watching you do napkins for Easter, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the love that you put into really everything you're doing. Where did you learn that?
You know, Maria, I grew up with, my mom always did a lot for us, and which mom? Feliz Dia das Mães, te amo. My mom, she did a lot of things like that for us. But as I became a mother and kind of understood the challenges that it is of being a mother, of trying to do everything in the household, and how can we inspire other people or help other people. And I just know that when my girlfriends come to me and they say, hey, Camilla, you know, I learned how to do this, check this out. And I go, oh my gosh, that's so easy. I want to do it. So it's really about sharing and learning from each other and creating that community. You know, that's my biggest goal right now, to keep building the community and keeping learning from each other. You know, like this recipe, it's a recipe that a friend of mine gave me a book. It's called Food as Medicine. And I really liked the recipe. And then I just created my own, inspired by the recipe that she had in the book. So it's just about sharing things and building a community, learning from each other.
I think that's such a beautiful thing, you know, that everybody has a community here. It's such a democratic thing, and everybody can use it for good. We can each use it to inspire people, to bring people together. There's so much division out in the world, and the opportunity to bring people together and share your knowledge that can then inspire somebody else. Like an entire relationship, a mother-in-law, you know, daughter-in-law relationship, because of you two, can change people's relationships, not just how they cook, but how they communicate, how they might quarantine together, how they may move forward in life together. That's huge.
It really is. And, you know, I was having this conversation yesterday with a friend of mine, a dear, and we were talking about how, you know, you before the quarantine, majority of people were so caught up on what are the numbers, what are the engagement, you know, how many likes, how many views, and all of that. And I think that right now we really have to but really focus on shifting our priorities on how is the quality of our engagement? What is the quality of your community? Because it's exactly what you say, Maria. Like, if somebody sees my relationship with Mamak and that inspires to have a better relationship,
to try harder, right, to try harder, you know, and it does take work. It really does. I mean, I'm sure you have a mother-in-law.
No, no, I did have a mother-in-law, but she passed away.
Oh, okay.
But I am a mother-in-law.
Yes.
So I'm of a year. So I'm trying to make sure that I am a good mother-in-law, that I don't step into the wrong space or place. And so I have to know when to speak up, when to be quiet.
Exactly.
And it's different from my other children, right? So I'm trying to look for good examples of mother-in-laws.
Good. That's great. Yeah, that's great. You're on to something.
But I think it's different. It's different, I think, when someone marries your son versus marries your daughter. I mean, all of these, every relationship is different, right? Absolutely. And Camilla said you tested her in the beginning.
Oh, yes. Do you want to share?
What?
She's saying that I said that you tested me in the beginning.
Oh, yes. That's when I wanted to get to know her, and she wanted to get to know me.
Yeah, but how did you test me in the beginning?
I asked you a lot of questions.
What else did you do?
Well, you mean about Penelope? No, not
and everybody else.
I forgot. Seriously, you know, I mean,
she's 88. You know, her memory's going down.
I don't think so.
I have selective memory, Maria. Selective memory. I'm not going down that path, but
Can I share?
Sure. Go right ahead. Make
So,
sure you tell the truth.
I'll tell the truth.
Right.
Always. When do I bullshit? So, I mean, I won't share all of it, but like one thing she would do was in the beginning, she would call me by the name of every single ex-girlfriend that I had.
Because I wasn't used to her.
Every single one, Maria. She'll be like, you know,
It wasn't to be mean, no.
She would be, I mean, she would call and she'll be like, what? You, anyway, I shouldn't say that part. I'm not going to say that part because people are going to twist it.
Yeah.
But she would call me by all of their names. Basically, it was a list. And it was so, and she did that for long enough to where one Christmas, I almost made a t-shirt that said, you know, I am not, I'm not, and have their names, you know, and at the end have my name is Camilla.
That is, I see a lot of people here are saying it takes time to get the mother-in-law rolled down, but I think the two of you are doing extraordinary work, actually, kind of illuminating that relationship and how great that can be, actually. And that's what to me was so inspiring. Camilla, I'm inspired by everything you're doing individually, but I'm particularly love what you're doing together. And it's brought me so much joy. So probably you know, I think that's the thing, is that we put these things up and we never know who's watching. We never know who's being touched. And I think that I just wanted you both to know on this Mother's Day that I've been inspired by your relationship and what you're doing.
That's great.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And you inspire me too. Okay, the stuff that you're doing, everything you're doing is pretty amazing. Continue to do it. And as you said, you never know what's going to change someone's path on doing better.
Well, maybe when this is all over, maybe I'll come and get a cooking lesson. I'll do kind of like Kay. I'll throw a little bit of shake in the
There you go. Way to go, Maria.
Perfect, guys.
Okay.
Look, this is the coleslaw right there. I don't know if you can see it.
Beautiful.
But this lasts 2 days in the refrigerator. You can eat with everything and anything. Is fantastic. And for the whole recipe, it will be on the website Women of Today for all the detailed recipe.
Terrific. Women of Today, and you have a beautiful halibut meuniere in the Sunday paper, and I know you also are a big supporter of the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, so thank you, and happy Mother's Day to you both.
All right, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for talking to us today, Maria. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Great. How great is that? They're so wonderful and inspiring. And I just love that coleslaw. That is so great. How great are they? They've been such big supporters of the Sunday paper, the Women's Alzheimer's Movement. I'm really, really happy that they just did that. And then finally, we're going to be joined today by somebody who's near and dear to my heart. Katrina Gilbert is a woman that I met several years ago. I did a big HBO documentary on her called Paycheck to Paycheck. And I wanted to bring her back today, not only to wish her a happy Mother's Day, but to introduce all of you to her. She was raised 3 kids. She was living paycheck to paycheck. She went back to school. She's really changed her life around. And I just wanted to revisit with her. And I really mainly wanted to introduce all of you to her because she's such an extraordinary woman. And there she is. I just want you to meet her. If you've seen Paycheck to Paycheck on HBO, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. She is the main character there she is, Katrina.
Hey. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy Mother's Day.
You too. Happy Mother's Day.
And I should mention that Katrina is a nurse, so thank you so much for all the work you are doing on the front lines. How are you doing, Katrina?
I'm doing good. It's been rough, but it's a different experience that we're going through. So
what's it been like for you? You have 3 kids, right? You're working. You went back I saw you. You went back and you went to college.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
so proud of you.
Thank you. Well, we bought a house last year. I married Chris. We have 4 kids living in the house. Brooklyn is 14.
Wow.
Lydia is 12 and Trent is 10. And then Autumn, my stepdaughter, lives with us and she's about to be 14.
Wow. I want to say when I met Katrina, she was working in a Alzheimer's home.
Yes.
Working there. And she had a very different life, and the whole documentary was about how hard it is to live paycheck to paycheck while you're working full time, raising kids full time, trying to go back and forth with an ex-spouse. And it was a really kind of eye-opening documentary for so many people to kind of realize that they didn't know what it was really like to live paycheck to paycheck. They had a lot of assumptions. And since that time, Katrina went back to school, now is a full-fledged nurse, got married. And what would you like people to know, Katrina, who are out there living paycheck to paycheck right now? You really have pulled yourself up. What's your best piece of advice for people?
Well, like I say all the time, just keep pushing forward. The reason why I was pushing forward so hard and I kept going and I was so resilient was because of my children, because I knew that I had to be strong for them. And anyone can do it. You think that you can't, but you can. You can do it. You can get through school. You can better yourself. You can have things that you think that you could never have. I never thought I would have a home. I never thought I would be working at a hospital, but I am. And you can do it too. I mean, it's hard right now in the situation that we're all in, but it's also possible. I mean, I'm looking at going back to school in the fall. So, I mean, anything is possible and y'all can do it.
Well, where do you get that resilience? Where do you get that drive? Where do you get that motivation?
Well, I would say that, it's my children, but it's also my mom. My mom was a strong woman too. My mom worked several jobs just to take care of us, and she went through a lot, but she always pushed forward and always made sure that we had everything we needed and everything we wanted. And so I would say that's a lot of the women in my family. And my mom, she is one of the reasons that I am as strong as I am.
Do you feel proud of yourself, Katrina?
I am. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah.
I am.
If you look back, can you believe what you've accomplished?
No, I really can't. I really can't. I look back and I'm like, whoa, I've come so far. I've come so far.
And do you feel like your kids are proud of you? Do you feel like your kids know what you've gone through?
Oh, yeah, they do. Especially Brooklyn, because she was the oldest, and she
Yes.
saw it. She remembers. She really does remember, because she'll talk to her stepdad about how back, when I was a single mom, how I was struggling so much financially. She remembers that, and she was so young. She was only in kindergarten, but she remembers. And she was like, I don't want my mom to ever have to go through that again. And she's like, she's so strong, and I'm so proud of her. So, yeah, they look up to me. They know what I've done. They know what I've sacrificed for them.
Wow. Well, I wanted to have you come on here because you're one of the women I really admire. And I wanted you to come on Mother's Day because, I knew even when we last spoke, it was always what you were doing because you wanted to be a good example to your kids. You wanted to show them not settling. I remember you always said, I don't want them to think that I settled. I don't want them to think that I gave up.
Yeah.
And I thought you're such a great kind of lighthouse for so many of us who feel, and I think so many people right now feel like, oh my God, I lost my job. I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from, where the money's coming from. I'm a single mom. And you are really kind of there as a beacon of what can be, a beacon of someone who understands better than almost anybody what that's like. And I thought you would be so great to offer hope and guidance to so millions of people that are out there going like, I don't know what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
What's the single best piece? I know I asked you the best piece of advice, but if you're speaking to that single mom out there today who's got 3 kids, who was where you were, worried about where the food's going to come from, not being able to meet ends, what would you say to her right now?
Okay, you may feel like you can't do anything anymore, or you're stuck. Pretty much, you're stuck in a storm. and it's raining and it's coming at you so hard from every direction and it's knocking you down. Sorry.
No.
You can do it. Don't think that you can't, because like with me,
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't a good mom. I thought I wasn't doing all the things that I needed to be doing for my children.
Yeah.
But I was giving them everything that they needed, and I was trying to give them everything that they wanted and put myself on the back burner. But you can do it. You may think you can't. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. You get knocked down, you get up, and you're going to be stronger. And then you get knocked down a little bit more, and you get up, and you're going to be stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger every time. Don't ever think that you can't do it, because you can. There is always a will. It works its way out. It really does. You just got to have faith. It will work out. The storm doesn't last forever. It clears up. The sun comes out, and everything is great. And it's going to be great. And it's going to be fine. And just don't give up. Just have faith.
Can't say it any better than that. Katrina, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Mother's Day to you.
You too. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you for being such an inspiration to so many millions of people. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You too.
Okay. Wow. I'm so glad that you all got to meet Katrina. She's really such an inspiration to me. And if you're in the boat that Katrina was in, if you feel today that you're a single mom or you're a mom and you can't make ends meet and you feel like you're in the middle of the storm, think of Katrina and think of what she said. Have faith. The sun will come out. There's always help out there. There's hope out there. I know this economic downturn has been really tough, particularly on so many women. But on this day today, if you are that woman or any woman, I want you to take a deep breath and pat yourself on the back. What you're doing is extraordinary. Who you are is extraordinary. Who you are is enough. And I want to thank the Sunday paper is a weekly newsletter that inspires hearts and minds and moves humanity forward one person at a time. And we just started there right now with Katrina, with Camilla, with Kay, with Sue. All of these people are so inspiring, and as are you. So that's the focus of the Sunday paper, is to touch your heart and your mind, make you feel like you're in community, and help you move forward, and also to let you know that you too can move another person forward. You too can be the difference in another person's life. You can be the difference in another person's life. So if you're mothering today, know that you are the difference in another person's life. If you're finished your mothering, thank you. And if you are being mothered, thank the person who's mothering you, no matter who that is. So thank you. God bless you. I want to leave you with, I always put a quote in the Sunday paper. And the quote today is from my grandmother. And it says, "What greater aspiration and challenge are there for a mother than the hope of raising a great son or daughter?" And that is from my grandmother, Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. And there's a lot of advice in here. A lot of people shared the greatest advice they ever got from their mother in the Sunday paper today. Mae Musk puts her Sunday to be list in the paper today, which is really quite extraordinary. Claire Bidwell Smith remembers her own mom, who's no longer with us, and she has a good piece on what to do about how to remember your mom if your mom isn't here. Crystal Rowland has a great piece called "Pregnancy in the Time of COVID. You Are Not Alone." And this piece really moved me. She submitted it. And I really loved it because it puts a light on all of those who are pregnant right now, who are going into hospitals sometimes without their partners or their husbands and having to give birth. And it's scary, and you can't take your partner to your doctor's appointments and stuff. So it's a particularly challenging time to be pregnant. She writes about that. And finally, our prayer of the week is this: Dear God, thank you for the gift of motherhood. It's the hardest job in the world, but it's also the greatest job in the world. May we show gratitude and express love and appreciation to all those who do it. Amen. God bless you. Thank you. If you don't get the Sunday paper, I hope you subscribe to it, or tell somebody you love to subscribe to it, or share it. It's a labor of love, and I hope that you enjoy it. So have a great Mother's Day. I'm going to go to my church online, and then I think my kids are going to come over. They sent me flowers, so that was really nice. I got it early this morning. Oh, there's a message from my Monsignor. God bless you, and know that you can make the difference in another person's life. Have a great day.